Good afternoon and live from Texas. This is the Will Cain Show. We begin with a Fox News alert. You're looking now at new courthouse sketches of Karmelo Anthony, who was in court today in an attempt to get a new murder trial. Anthony, of course, was convicted of murdering 17-year-old Austin Metcalf by stabbing him during a track meet in April 2025. He was sentenced to 35 years in prison. Today, a Texas judge ruled in favor of a defense motion to recuse trial Judge John Roach from overseeing the appeals process. The defense has accused Judge Roach of not being impartial during the Anthony trial. They point to an interview he gave in June where Roach said he believed the trial was fair and defended the dismissal of 3 black prospective jurors. The defense played the entire 18-minute interview for the courtroom, and that included this key moment.
Did the jury get it right?
Yeah, they did. You know why? Because they were picked based upon the law. They listened to the facts that happened here in this very courtroom, and they got a verdict. And so that's the process. And
retired District Judge Michael Chitty has now been assigned to preside over the appeal. Outside the courtroom, dozens of Karmelo supporters, including one man in a full Black Panther uniform. And minutes after the recusal, they broke out in loud cheers.
Say his name! Say his name! Just born! Free Karmelo! Free Karmelo! Free Karmelo! Free Karmelo!
Now all eyes turn to tomorrow, when we could hear brand new facts and testimony that were not previously made public, as Anthony's defense seeks a retrial. Joining me now, Austin's father, Jeff Metcalf, and criminal defense attorney Todd Shapiro, who was also inside that courtroom today. Todd, Jeff, good to see you both. Thank you.
Good to see you again, Will.
Jeff, let's go inside the courtroom. How did you feel today when you heard that Judge Roach had been recused?
It really didn't faze me. It's just another part of the procedure. It's a normal step. It doesn't change the facts of the case. To me, I don't care which judge presides over the proceedings because it doesn't change the facts.
But why, Todd? Why was Judge Roach recused?
Well, I think, Will, that the judge that was appointed to hear the motion to recuse felt like the interview itself may have given rise to an air of impropriety. It looks like he had already made a judgment. Judge was not going to be impartial throughout the appeals process. And I think in an abundance of caution, at least in my opinion, that the presiding judge decided Roach should be removed from the proceeding going forward because they didn't want another issue to come up on an appeal.
But based upon that 18-minute interview he gave to local news, wherein he said he thought that the jury got it right, he said that, though, because he said he thought the jury based it upon the facts and the jury was properly selected. It did not sound like he was giving his opinion on the verdict, but rather on the process of the trial. So how does that make an impartial judge?
I will tell you, I tend to agree with you, but saying the phrase, they got it right, could absolutely lead someone to believe that he thinks that Karmelo got what he deserved. And the problem that happened here is it was 2 days after the appeal was filed. It was just days after the end of the trial. And he was still had jurisdictional control over the next steps in the trial. And by making those public comments, I believe that the presiding judge just thought it was too much and it would be best to move in a different direction.
Okay, Jeff says it doesn't matter because the facts don't change. First, one more as to what you saw unfold today. What did you think when you saw everybody celebrating, I believe in your words, like they won the Super Bowl?
I mean, they can celebrate. If they want to consider it a win for their side, that's okay. I mean, the conviction is what I'm most concerned with, not a recusal of a judge. My main focus right now is the Austin Metcalf Foundation, and that's based on saving lives. And that's based on not having another parent be put in the position that I'm in or the Anthonys are put in. It hasn't been easy for either side, and the publicity that this case has generated is above normal. I mean, this is a nationwide, even some worldwide news in some places. But as far as what happened today, it's just one step in a long journey. And it doesn't really change the facts. There's no new evidence. It's just one step that says, okay, we're going to take this judge out and find a different judge.
Jeff, I've had several conversations together, gotten to know each other a little bit. I know that looking forward is a big part of where you want to be now, where your family wants to focus, the Austin Metcalf Foundation, honoring Austin's memory. But I also know that justice is important to you, and that this case doesn't fade into the rearview mirror or come out with an unjust outcome. When you look to tomorrow and the potential for a new trial, what do you think about that? What could you hear tomorrow? What could, in your words, change the facts and change the outcome for Karmelo Anthony?
Well, I mean, that's a speculative answer. So, I mean, I don't deal with a lot of what ifs. I deal with a lot of what is. So what is tomorrow? Tomorrow is a decision if he gets a new trial or not. And we'll go from there. If he gets one, great. The facts are still the same. We had 35 witnesses. If we need to call 35, we will. He brought a knife to a track meet, not supposed to, went to a tent where he didn't belong, was asked to leave over 15 times, got pushed in the shoulder and immediately stabbed someone in the chest and killed my son. That's it in a nutshell. We can try to paint it whatever color you want to paint it. It's not going to change the facts. No matter what judge is presiding, no matter what lawyer is presenting the case, the facts are the facts.
And to that point, Todd, then the defense is looking for a new trial based upon what I can ascertain is two reasons. They want more access to the courtroom, presumably for supporters of Karmelo Anthony, and they want more background information, as laid out in these hearings, on Austin and Karmelo. Is any of this enough to get a new trial? To Jeff's point, one thing that is clear is we have the facts.
We do have the facts, and I would assume that something explosive, a bombshell of some sort, has to be introduced from the defense standpoint to say, look, this would have made this trial patently different had it been in evidence. Whatever reason why it wasn't should be course corrected, and now let's go back to the trial court so it can all be fully presented, which seems like a strange argument considering 30 or 60 days ago you had a jury in the box, you had the lawyers, you had everybody prepared, so why was that evidence not brought up in the first trial? And it's got to be something substantial. It can't just be, I don't like the way that Roach, talked to me during the trial. That's not enough to get a new trial. There's got to be a structurally legal argument to be able to get a new trial. And then again, as Mr. Metcalf said, even if the judge does rule that there's a new trial, they still have to deal with the same facts. Still got to deal with the same evidence.
So, Jeff, I'll ask you this last question at the risk of being speculative once again, or asking you to be speculative. What would it mean for you and for your family if, in fact, there was a new trial granted, to go through all of this again?
Truthfully, Will, it's been the hardest thing I've ever had to go through in my life. Just losing my son alone, just that alone, it's the hardest thing I've ever had to endure. And I will tell you, there's no pain that a parent will ever feel that's deeper than this. So I wish this would never happen to anyone. I don't know. I know there's nothing I could have done different. But when you send your kid to school, you expect them to come home alive. Mine didn't. So how do we prevent this? How do we keep this from happening again? And that's, once again, that's the main reason I started the Austin Metcalf Foundation, is to be able to educate about conflict resolution, de-escalation, impulse control, not only for young adults, even parents. Because in today's world, with the moral decay of society, I've said before, teachers' job is to teach you, English, math, geography, social studies. They're not there to teach you morals, values. That's your parents' job, and it starts at home. And that's the biggest thing I see in today's world. One, there's not as many fathers in the household, and that contributes, I think, because you're looking at a single family that has to work and try to maintain raising a child. But some of the parents and some of the children aren't equipped with the skill sets to handle these split-second decisions that can put you in prison for a long time or put you in the cemetery.
Well, Jeff, here's to hoping that you can focus on the Austin Metcalf Foundation going forward and you don't have to relive this trial once again. We'll find out tomorrow. We'll begin the process of finding out tomorrow in the possible retrial of Karmelo Anthony. Jeff Metcalf, our thoughts and prayers are always with you, and we appreciate the time that you give us.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.